Today's video is gonna be on no other but Syndrion, the one and only Generational 2 powerhouse of Call of Dragons. And me, the one and only MrSneakyy, the one you guys love, is gonna give you that ultimate guide for this hero. We're gonna go down all of his skills like always really quickly, and then the pairings, talents that you could be running for this bad boy. So let's get into the ultimate guide for Syndrion in 2024. Hello everyone, yeah, smash like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos with me, MrSneakyy, and we're here with the one and only Syndrion. And if you don't know about this hero right now, you must be sleeping under a rock, right? Because he is the all-star of the archers at the moment, especially in the DPS category, right? This guy is doing all the damage you can want in this area, and the reason why he's doing this is because of his skills, right? He has skill 1 and skill 4, which is the most important things why he's pumping out so much damage, and it's because of his unique modifier called rapid fire. It's a buff that only he has to his date. You can get this in a similar way in your talents that we can showcase later on, but rapid fire allows you to basically fire a additional normal attack every second. So for his main skill, as you can see, when he triggers it on 1000 rage, you're gonna allow yourself for 7 seconds to fire an additional normal attack. And a lot of people might not think that's that powerful, but in the game, everyone fires 1 attack per turn, right? So now you're doing 2 attacks per turn over 7 turns, meaning you're doing over 14 attacks. And that is only from his first skill, right? When you look at his 4th skill, it's the exact same thing, but on top, you're getting 20% extra attack, and this is at the start of battle. So when you begin any sort of battle, you're going to get that rapid fire trigger. It will be only 1 second at rank 1, but it'll go all the way up to rank 5. It will be a 3-second buff. So you're going to get 6 attacks at the beginning of that fight at 20% attack bonus, and then it will fall off. And then your obviously main skill will kick in. So you can see here, you're doing tons of damage with this hero, all normal attack base, which is great and nice and easy to deal with. Because a lot of people might think, oh, it's hard to keep hitting people because they keep moving. But that's kind of the beauty of it, because you don't rely, honestly, on skill damage of this hero like a lot of other heroes in the game do. So you'll be surprised on how much damage this will pump out. When you look at his other 2 skills, I will tell you the only skill a lot of players will care about is going to be this passive skill. It's going to give you your HP bonus and, more importantly, a 10% crit bonus. It's going to allow you to obviously hit those big boy crits, deal some big boy damage more often, and obviously benefit of all those rapid fire triggers, right? If you're wondering what his second skill is, it is just a simple stronghold skill. When you're rallying any cities or strongholds, you're going to get an attack and defense penetration, which does, as you can imagine, for the T5 player, make him an all-star in rallying down and doing some insane DPS, right? So those are his 4 main skills, and when you get them all maxed out, his Awakening is a additional passive skill that you're going to grab. Nice and simple. Every time you land 5 critical hits, you're going to fire a massive 400 damage skill factor to the target, and this is just passive, right? So it's really, really easy to understand what this guy wants to do. He wants to hit you a lot, he wants to crit, and when he crits you, when he's awakened, he's going to deal some extra damage. Nice and easy, right? So let's go into first his pairings, right? Because there's a lot of pairings you can actually run with Syndrion, and a lot of people will obviously only go to the main one, which we're going to focus on first, just to get that out of the way, because everyone will probably be mad in the comment section that I don't mention it. And it's obviously Syndrion with the one and only Freyga. This match is made for each other, right? It was designed, as you can imagine, because they're both generational 2 based heroes. They work perfectly for each other. The reason why is whenever Freyga obviously triggers her active skill, she's going to give you a crit rate of 60% on top of your extra 10% from your Syndrion. And the payoff for this is your actual skill 3. You're going to get a 30% damage bonus on all of your critical hits, which is insane to have as a passive skill. On top of this, you gain some really good attack stats. You also gain some normal attack stats and defense stats with this match. And with the PvP 1v1, if you want to say, territory with Syndrion and Freyga, you're also gaining the fact that you're getting that upkeep chance of the rage accumulation speed reduction of 20%. So you can see why this match is made for each other. And at the moment, without any of the generational free heroes in the game, without anyone testing, it is the most single target DPS match in the game. I'm not saying you might want to invest in this right now still. You might want to, right? But just maybe hold off, see what everyone says about the generational free heroes, and you might need to potentially replace Freyga with one of those G free heroes, right? Apart from that, let's get into some actual other Syndrion different types of matches, because there is, to be honest, 2 different matches that you can run with him, right? And one is a very popular one that even I myself had made videos on and vouched for, and a lot of people have started using it themselves, and I really like it too, because it gives you a very Rise of Kingdoms, Saladin and Khan vibe. And if you heard that right, you understand what I'm going with, and it is your Kanara. Kanara and Syndrion is actually a very surprisingly good combo when you try them out together. The reason why they're really good, especially even if you awaken your Kanara, if you've got a 5-5-1-1 Kanara, 5-5-1 Kanara, you can go anywhere with her, right? The reason it's really good is A, obviously you're doing some nice single target DPS, you're reducing that damage dealt to those targets, and you are still gaining some insane bonuses when it comes to your attack damage, right? And your attack stat. And it's actually a really beneficial thing for this match. And when you have a Awakened, boys, you gotta remember, every time you're launching a normal attack, you have a 20% chance to defense break them. That is so good with Syndrion. Syndrion's going to allow Kanara having that basically double chance almost, right? To get more defense breaks and allowing your Syndrion, which is hiding in the back, to just deal an absurd amount of damage, right? So it's honestly a really good match. Very, very popular, and I would honestly recommend it, right? Another one that some people did use, and I saw, and this is only mainly for the spenders, I'm going to kind of call these last 2 matches more of a honorable mention. If you have them, you might want to try them. It is just going to be, obviously, Syndrion with the one and only Big Boy Husk. You need this all awakened. I personally don't find it great. I don't think it's good. I've just seen people use it, and that's why I kind of want to just put it out there, because I know some whale will comment below, is it good? And I've seen it being used. It does do some damage, but it doesn't perform as good as the other 2 matches do, right? Another one that you could run, and I've seen it happen before, and some people, I was shocked about it too, as an honorable mention, is actually the Guan Win. The reason why is, again, you're launching so many poison attack triggers and increasing damage dealt. For some reason, they run it instead of Freyga. I don't know why, but I wouldn't obviously suggest that, right? So if you're wondering the best 2 matches to run with your Syndrion as of now in 2024, it is definitely going to be Syndrion Freyga, or it's going to be your Syndrion as a deputy behind your Kanara, right? Wherever she is. So that is all you need for the pairings, right? When it comes to your artifact is pretty simple. It does depend on the match. If you are running Syndrion and Freyga and you have it unlocked and you've got a decent like level 2 even, or even like a level 3, I would always recommend equipping your Gold Crest, right? This just does too much single target damage with that match in particular, because again, when you do have a Freyga with this artifact and you put it on with the Syndrion, you're gonna obviously potentially lock down that target with an immobilized trigger, just letting you just free reign hit them from max range, right? So it's a really nice little thing, does a ton of single target DPS, and it gives you a bit of march speed, which is even nicer for your march. Another one that you can take is, and I love this, Viola's Bow. one of the most underrated artifacts in the game. It's going to give you a ton of HP stat that's going to allow you to actually fight with your Syndrion, because he is very fragile. People don't realize that with him. He's a complete glass cannon, right? So if you can give him a ton of HP, it's actually going to help him out. And the beautiful thing about this artifact is the fact you're getting that ceiling, right? Artifact seal for 10 seconds does change a lot on the open field, and it does deal a decent amount of damage. Obviously, if you upgrade it, it's 3200 damage. It's nothing to not laugh about, right, for AoE, and it's on 5 targets. So 5 targets with a 10-second delay, boys, you've nearly saved a minute worth of CC, right? It's crazy. It's a crazy artifact. Another one, again, if you don't have anything crazy and you just have maybe a free-to-play or a low spender, and you can see I have it equipped because it is my best artifact. It is Shadow Blades, right? It's just the all-star overall most flexible artifact for archers, right? You can honestly slap this on anyone. It's good because it's just doing a very simple job. A ton of area of effect damage. It gives you a ton of attack, and it's very easy to level up, right? So that's a very easy one too. If you're wondering about the Rattle Spear, I would use the Rattle Spear on the Kanara March. So if you're running Kanara with Syndrion, that is the artifact of choice in there. And then if you don't have any of those artifacts, and you're probably wondering, Sneaky, what about us, free-to-players? Don't worry, you can run the Dagger of Betrayal. I think this thing is amazing for this March, especially if you just want to be a random debuffer. But a more actual valid, PvP choice is going to be either Heart Piercer or, surprisingly, the new Steel Heart Avenger. It does deal some nice little bit of damage, and more importantly, it's area of effect, right? So you'll be surprised on that little combination there, right? So those are all of your artifacts. And when it comes into your pet choice, it's pretty simple. There's only 2, and the only one you majority use 90% of the time is this Nightrock. This Nightrock is designed for you. Anytime you're critting away, it's going to basically charge this guy up to deal some damage, right? It's a nice, simple pet. I'm not going to go too crazy in explaining the Nightrock. We have guides for that, right? But this is the guy you're going to be wanting to equip on your march. If you're running Kanara with Syndrion, the only other one, as you can imagine, is the Snow Peak, just because you're going to be defense breaking through, hopefully, your Awakened Kanara and your Rattle Spear, and with the correct talent tree, it's going to just honestly fire a lot of damage. People underestimate this, right? So those are the only 2 ones you're going to run. 100% of the time, you're going to be running Nightrock, and for the one time you might be running a Kanara Syndrion, this is going to be your only, obviously, other choice, right? So let's do the more crazy one, the one that you guys love. This is the talent pages now. We're going to go through 3 different talent pages for you, so you understand what's to do and what's the best in the meta. So the first talent page we're going to go over for Syndrion is the one that I've been using basically all season. This is the, I would call, jack of all trades. It just allows you to use it in PvP and get some really good trades, but more importantly, it's really good in raiding, right? It's really specifically made for raiding. So you get the best of both worlds with this, right? The reason why it's all about, straight up damage, you're going straight down this line, you're getting invincible, so whenever you're launching a normal attack, you have that chance to get an onslaught, right? And what you're trying to do in this build is try and get triggers of onslaught or more normal attack damage triggers, right? When you get to this stage and you're probably wondering what you're supposed to do, obviously you go 5 points here, 5 points here, 5 points here, and 1 point here. You'll ignore this movement speed until later on, and I'll discuss that in a moment. But then obviously from here, you're going to go 5 points into Cool Under Pressure. This is an insanely powerful one for you. It just gives you flat out 3 damage while you're above 50%, which is most of the time. So you want to put Cool Under Pressure on, and then because we are a crit-based hero, we do want to talk about Intrepid and obviously Unstoppable. These are 2 things that we always want on. It's going to increase our crit rate by 8% now for 5 seconds, and then we deal a 15% extra critical damage hit, right? So very, very important for us. You can go through 2 different things with Syndrion. I will admit, I've tried both of these keystones. So you can choose Mark of War. This is very fine. Basically, you're going to increase your attack the longer you are in battle. So if you're a more experienced player with this march, You feel like you survive quite a lot. Honestly, this is a decent one. As well in raids. In raids, you will always get this to the maximum amount of damage within basically the first minute of the raid. So if it goes any further, you know you are hitting maximum damage and value with Mark of War. But Mighty Slash, this is a insane powerful PvP talent. So you will be taking this too if you want to, and you'll see 2 different builds coming up which will have this in them, right? So very, very powerful. But once you've gone to this keystone, this is where with your final, talent points you have once you go from, 43 now going to your level 60. What I would do straight away is actually put 5 points into your impressible. This is just going to give you some ignore from your enemies. Just allows you to hit a little bit harder in PvP now. And then obviously just put the 1 point into overall speed to just give you a little bit more movement speed. If you feel you need it, you can put all your other points into here if you want. All you have to do is just put 1 point, as you can imagine, into suppression. This isn't really too necessary in your kind of like PvP, but it's just really nice to have, honestly. It's just a nice keystone to have when you're in raids and stuff. So it's very, very powerful when you're trying to upkeep basically normal attack damage. On top of this, you've got head held high. Again, for rage generation, you're going to need this as well. So, pretty simple page for me. I think everyone's been using this page probably since the dawn of time. But we do have 2 other pages that I really want to talk about. And I've been looking at one page and I've been seeing it being used a lot more often. And I can see why, especially when we get into it. So this is the second build for our boy Syndrion, and this is definitely a more PvP oriented build, and you can understand why, right? Because we do want a bit of changes. We don't want to worry about too much of the behemoth raids now. We're just trying to excel in PvP combat, and we can do that very simply with some minor changes, as you can see more into this marksman side. So we do the exact same thing as I talked about in that last tree. We go straight up down the middle, so we get 5, 5, 5. Get that invincible, and then we do the exact same 5, 5, 5 here. And then, because it's PvP based, this page, you're going to take Mighty Slash. Nice and simple. Easy, right? We've gone over that already. The changes of this page now, as you can see, is when we are over here. So we're going to start putting 5 points into some extra attack start, but what's really good for us is the fact that in the marksman tree, we're going to get 15% march speed. And comparatively, this only gives you 2% per point. That's why you don't put as many in here when you're finishing off, right? So you're getting 15% from here, you're getting an extra 4%, so that's 19%. Nearly 20% just from those points, right? Compared to only 10% if you went on this side. So you go 5, 5, 5, get these stats. It's really nice to have those bunch of stats for your march. And then, as you can imagine, you put your last 2 points of your hero into the overall speed. And this is more PvP oriented, and the whole point of it, as you can imagine, is to have more march speed so you can get in and out, reposition a lot more easier, and just keep on your targets if they are trying to run away, which is very, very key when you're trying to kill people, right? Especially with Syndrion that needs to fire off his normal attacks. So I would recommend this one more than the other build. The first build is more tailored towards raiding, where you don't need to worry about moving as much, as you can imagine, and it's all about pure damage. So let's go over the third build that we have. That is another PvP build, very similar to the first build, but with a slight change. And welcome to the final build. So this is the final build, similar to the first build, but it's a little bit more of a hybrid of it, right? Where you can see the difference, where you combine it more for PvPing versus raiding. So we don't need to go over the beginning parts. If you've watched any of the other talent builds in this video, you'll understand you'd go 5, 5, and 5 in the beginning, putting your 1 point into invincible, going 5, 5, 5, and then finally finishing this build with the 1 on Mighty Slash. This is allowing us now, as you can see, to launch that additional normal attack, which is very good with Syndrion. Basically makes us into a minigun, basically shooting off so many different normal attacks in a turn. So this is what we want. From here, this is where things are going to go different to the last build. So you will put 5 points into head held high afterwards, first making it a priority to get that rage gen. This is going to allow you to actually upkeep rapid fire, allowing you to try and optimize and obviously keep up on that damage with crit chance and this mighty slash. And then on top of that, you can see Force of Will. Whenever you cast that Rage skill, because of this, you're going to get Onslaught. And if the stars align and you get the Onslaught with the Mighty Slash, with the Rapid Fire trigger from your Syndrion, honestly, you will see a massive damage output. Then, with this, you will finish off the build with 5 points instant impressible. For PvP, you just can't ignore this. Like it states, it ignores 2% of the enemy's defense. It's too powerful for you not to have that 3 penetration built into your kit. And then to finish it off, you're just going to put 2 points into the march speed, because we need to grab whatever march speed left as we can. So that's it. That is everything you need to know, honestly, with Syndrion in 2024. And you guys know Zeta and Magra are coming out, and I have some videos on them where I do believe Syndrion might be good with one of those heroes, but we will soon see when, you know, Generation 3 heroes come out, how good they are with this guy, and if there are any future pairings with them, right? So when that video comes out, you know what to do and how to get there. Subscribe, because if you subscribe and put that notification bell, it will pop up onto your feed, so you know to click on it and you know more information about Call of Dragons. So until the next video, smash a like, comment and subscribe. Until then, stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out.